And not even a 3, 2, 1, just
No, I know, just you're live. Hello.
Hello. Hey, everyone. Hold on. We're a little diagonal.
Diagonally challenged.
Diagonally.
Diagonally. That's a Harry Potter reference for anybody who also loves Harry Potter.
Yeah. Hey, everyone.
Yes, hello, and welcome to French Polynesia and Moorea specifically.
I just have to point out, we are 3 minutes early, and we did not F this one up like the last 8. Yeah, we haven't messed this one up yet. There we go.
Yet is a very important word in that sentence.
There we go. Oh, hold on. Very important word. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time for us to screw this up properly.
It's true. It's true. We are in Moorea, which is the tiny island just outside of Tahiti.
Mm-hmm. Closest to Tahiti.
Yeah, and our lovely backdrop here. It's mountains and ocean, isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
No, internet fast enough to do anything like this does not exist.
No, this is the fastest internet we have found so far in French Polynesia, and we should just go show you around.
Geez, it's not even 3. We're going to show them around already.
Well, you know what? We got to wait for everybody else to join in.
Yeah, that's right. I'll show you around. All right.
Yeah, so we'll go show you around.
Here, I'm going to flip this camera around so you can see. All right, that's that beautiful wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all the technology. That's what actually gets us connected. They just installed like fiber optic cables here.
Yeah, they just got it like 3 months ago, I think you said, or something like that. So this is like the first time they've had speeds this fast.
Yeah. Oh, and this is Moorea.
Oh yeah.
The owner?
owner.
They play video games here a lot. That's not connected to the internet, which is good for us. This guy is playing on the internet, which slows down the video uploads big time.
Yep.
Are we gonna lose the internet out here? No? Okay.
Yeah, and then
Not too far. Okay, he said not too far.
too far. Okay, well, I just thought we could show them the street and then what the outside of this place looks like.
Okay. Bonjour. All right, if I lose you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this is the main street here on Moorea. There's one road that goes all the way around the entire island. And this is not too far from our anchorage. We're like just on the other side of Cook's Bay here. And then this is the outside of the Cyber Moorea.
All right, I just saw it getting choppy. We got to go back in. Okay, going back in.
And all the kids' bicycles.
Yeah. All right. All right, we're going back. And this is our table. And they've put us in the back here because it's more quiet because there's no kids, but there's no air conditioning. So if we start glistening,
That's why.
That's totally why.
Yeah. But it's a pretty cool place, and it's, well, especially if they have even just this little back room with the table, and the fact that we can come back here to kind of be in a little quiet space to think and work, which is nice, aside from all the kids hanging out and video gaming, and they get pretty excited in there, but it's fun too.
The place, somebody asked, the place is called Cyber Moorea.
Yep.
And it is definitely the fastest internet here on the island, and it's not cheap. We bought a 10-hour card, and it's
$50.
$50 for 10 hours?
Or it's just $6 per hour per device though. So if you want 2 devices, then you have to buy hours for each device. Yeah. But if you, like for updating our computers and actually uploading and everything
on the
else,
website that we just redid, we spent 4 hours here, 2 computers, and then we got the bill afterwards, and we're like, oops.
Pretty much.
It goes like that, $100.
Yeah, but it's the fastest, in that time is money, essentially, so I guess it works out in the wash.
Yeah, definitely.
Beggars can't be choosers.
We should do, okay, we said on Patreon we asked for you to ask the questions there in case we couldn't scroll through fast enough.
Yes.
So we're going to start with those questions, and then we will start interacting with the blurbs that are all popping up here on the YouTube.
On the YouTube. We should be careful about that. Yeah. Technomatic is here. What's up, Chris and Sheree? I've been spending so much time on RV mobile internet the past 2 days because we're getting ready to talk about our connected devices. And yeah, I was checking on all of like the satellite options to see if anything magically has gotten any better, and I was very sad to see that there's been nothing since the last time I looked. I was like, oh!
Where's this free satellite internet across the world?
I know. You guys, maybe send an email to somebody.
You're on the wrong page. Or are you trying to be on that page?
No, I just was looking on here to see who all's here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I've seen like Here Then Gone.
There's lots
Robert
of people.
King. I know there's lots of people. I just wanted to see who's okay, I'm gonna switch over to patron questions first. On the patron post.
Don't you like that? Like I say, hey, let's do this one thing, and she's like, nope.
Daily occurrence.
Daily occurrence. I'm getting hot.
It's pretty warm in here. Okay. This is from Michael. He says, what advice would you both give to a couple getting ready to live the cruising life? And then somebody else asked, okay, so another, to Michael Russo and Michael Lubrano.
Yes.
Okay. So something I've been wondering is how on such a small space you find alone time. You always seem happy, healthy, well adjusted. Is it really like that?
90% of the time.
And do you ever get alone time away from each other to give yourself some personal time away, e.g. a day trip alone somewhere? You guys come to the Cyber Cafe by yourself the other day.
Yeah, I came to upload last week's video, or Sunday's video.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got some alone time, like 2 hours.
While uploading.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Get to watch all the kids' game.
I guess the advice that we would give is, no matter what you read, you can't comprehend if they say that it's bad, or if something is the way it is, or if the boat's going to take a lot of work, or I guess just in my head, I thought, yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, but it ends up being about 2 or 3 times as much work as what I kind of had in my head.
Yeah, that's hard to prepare for, though, and that's also going to be, everybody's boat's going to be different, so people have way more work ahead of them than others.
But even planning a trip or like to do anything seems like everything just takes like 2 to 3 times longer.
Yeah, but I think the frustrations can start to build because that's all stress and everything else. Communication's huge. I know for us, like the first little bit, because we learned how to sail together, and that's been kind of big, because for other couples there's like one person who's the sailor and one person who's new and kind of like diving into the lifestyle, and we've seen a lot of people get super frustrated because there's major trust issues where either he doesn't trust her or she doesn't trust him or whatever, and so that a lack of confidence and a lack of trust is no bueno in a relationship, whether you're married or just brother and sister, anything. I think that's probably all the same no matter what. So building trust with each other and making sure that you feel comfortable in whatever your tasks are and that you feel competent in each other, and if not, then you got to talk through that stuff. And we definitely had to have that conversation at one point, because we were having like a little bit of it wasn't a power struggle, it was just trust. Like I had screwed up on something and he was like afraid to leave me at the helm because he's like, are you gonna hit something? I was like, I have this, I'm capable. You know, I'm like, yeah, shame on you for not trusting me. My feelings were super hurt about it. So I guess that's the thing, is it can cause hurt feelings and stuff. If you're not, you just have to talk about everything, whether you want to or not. Yeah. It's a small space. There's no room for extra baggage. No. Emotional or otherwise.
There's a comment on medical assistance and life insurance or insurance policies. Well, that is a loaded question. We are planning more helpful content over the next few months and into 2019. We need to. We got so much to talk about, so much to cover, and health insurance is one of those. Yes, and we've kind of been trying to tackle them as they come up. So actually, spoiler alert, this Sunday's video is actually going to be about connectivity. We're going to be going over all of our devices, so it's a little bit daunting for us, so we're filming that right now. And another spoiler alert, Nikki has to go to the hospital coming up. And after that, we'll talk about healthcare. Yes, so because I think we're thinking maybe around the holidays-ish or something. Yeah, so the medical one is coming up in probably 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. Yeah, because you'll get the episode where I get to visit the island hospital. Yay! Yay! Yes. Hey, we get some alone time then. Oh yeah, we do. I totally got to spend the day at the hospital by myself. Not for too long, yeah. Anyway, so that absolutely is the perfect time to talk about healthcare, because there are so many options out there, and not all of them are created equal, and not all of them include every country, but it's also very individual, like person specific. So anyway, we are going to list out those options, talk about what we did, and hopefully that will help, but it is a big one. Yeah.
Let's see.
How much for the idol? Yeah, the one in the photo?
I'm pretty sure they won't let you take those.
I literally didn't even see that. She was editing photos the other day, and she's the one that took that photo, and I was like, well, it looks like that dude's doing you know what.
I'm like, I'm fairly certain he is. Apparently, the cannibalism and sexuality were kind of
big.
Yeah. You can read a book about it. I don't think it's PG rated. So Rachel asked, if a newbie solo sailor wanted to get crew to cross the Pacific Ocean, where would they get them? So there's actually websites, one of them being Crew Finder, and that's just where you can find people who are wanting to cross.
Although I can tell you that in Panama, by the canal on either side of Panama, there are people always looking to get on a boat and cross with somebody.
Yeah.
So
go to New Zealand, Australia, French Polynesia. There's tons of people always wanting to get on for a leg. Even here at the docks, there will be people waiting outside. They'll have a little bulletin board saying, hey, hoping to get to here or here, if anybody needs crew. But another big one, for females at least, there's lots of groups on Facebook that are all really, really awesome. One's specific to boats, like there's a leopard owners group that we're a part of, and you can find all kinds of great tips and everybody sharing stuff there. For whatever type of boat you have or you own, there will be a group for that. But Women Who Sail, that's a group on Facebook, and that would be a great place to maybe kind of make some friends. It's a very supportive community, and you could definitely post that you were looking for people to help your crew.
I wouldn't be surprised too. We get emails often from ASA, the company that we did, or maybe it's Blue Water Sailing. I'm not sure, one of the two. Yeah, they like, I need to move a boat from here to here. Anybody want to come?
Oh, on the forums.
Yeah, like on the forums or something. So.
Yeah, I don't know where we get those emails from either. But yes, there are lots of places.
I think
lots
it's our
of
sailing school.
It's probably ASA. Yeah. The Facebook groups are great. You can meet lots of people there, and then there is one called Crew Finder where people list. It's kind of like couch surfing, but for sailors, I guess you could say.
All right, what types of wildlife have you seen on land besides goats and chickens? How's the fishing been? Wow, we don't even bring our spears here in...
Well, not so far.
Yeah, not here in Tahiti and Moorea, because there's really not that many fish on the reefs that we've seen.
Yeah, and although ciguatera isn't like a huge concern here in Moorea, I don't think they've ever had a reported case when I looked online. But yeah, there just aren't that bigger fish around the reefs here. So yeah, we haven't been, like, we'll throw the line out sometimes when we're going in between islands, but we've been really bad about fishing lately. But I think that's just because we've had so much more food on land, like so many more veggies and the fruit and everything else. And then the local fishermen, we've been trying to kind of buy fish from them because it's also just kind of local and fun. So that's been mostly what we've been doing.
And the tuna here is excellent and super fresh and very inexpensive.
Yeah. You get like a huge fillet that feeds us for like 4 days for $10. It's fantastic. Besides the baguettes, that might be the next cheapest thing in French Polynesia.
And as far as wildlife on land, there's not really much here, I don't think.
No, some lizards and mosquitoes and no-see-ums.
Dogs, and mostly dogs. So
mostly dogs and cats.
Mostly dogs.
And birds, lots of birds.
Yeah. Still haven't seen a toucan.
No, I don't
know if we're ever gonna see one.
I don't know. Are toucans
maybe Costa
here?
Rica or something.
Yeah, I don't think they're here.
Panama, I don't know.
Okay. Rusty and Liz, for the sailing you've done so far, how's the size of the boat been working out? Would you go bigger or smaller? It's about the boat, not the size of the boat. You could have a 20-foot boat that would be amazing and sail really well and be totally comfortable on passage, or you can have a 60-foot boat. So it's very much about the boat. Even like when we were looking at lagoons, for example, we were told that certain models, it was just certain years that hobby horsed really bad, or certain sizes, while others didn't. And it could be the smaller one that didn't, and it could be the larger one that didn't. So each boat has its own quirks, so you kind of just have to figure out what boat you think you're interested in or nail down. Yeah, I just don't think size doesn't play that much into it.
Yeah, it's hard because
it's going to be boat specific. Every boat sails so very, very different.
Yeah, definitely the 40 is going to sail different than our 43, and leopards, you know, and the 46 is supposed to sail even better
but
than our 43. But we've all made it. There's plenty of 39s and 40s and and 46s.
Yeah, well, and I know specifically like
here.
the 30, I think it was the 38 that was supposed to be really great.
Yeah.
It's a much older one, but people really liked the way that that one sailed. So yeah,
not a lot of help.
We're not very helpful.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We haven't sailed every single boat. So.
No, we haven't. We know our boat, and that's mostly it.
Plans for cyclone season, we are going to the Tuamotus. Hopefully, if we can get caught up on videos, which is always a struggle. We don't really have
internet there.
Yeah,
None
there's
at
no
all.
internet, so we basically have to work solid for an entire month to edit enough videos to
be a month ahead.
So that we could actually go experience these islands, which are supposed to be absolutely amazing, and
still upload. So yeah, that's more of a work-life balance issue, but that happens for a lot of people who are trying to balance work life, school life, whatever, and be in those areas where there is zero connectivity. So yeah, we're trying to work out how to do that one, but it's still technically in the cyclone zone, but
it's even further over and slightly further north, so it's closer to the Marquesas, and in theory it's even safer than here.
But we've talked to so many people who've been writing out the seasons here, even in the societies, and it's been no problem. I mean, you might get a tropical storm, but they said it hasn't been anything more than like the typical blows that you would get, which they call the Maramu winds, and they're like 40 knots, 45, maybe 50, which is a lot of wind, but we've experienced that before. Even in the Bahamas, you get those good blows that come through. So anyway, it's very rarely does a cyclone hit here, and there hasn't been one in a really long time. It's not nearly as active, or we're not as close as, say, like if we were in Florida or the Bahamas. That's super scary as far as hurricanes go, and you got to be on your toes there. Here, there's lots of great bays and places to kind of, I think, hunker down if something was coming. Yeah.
Not really.
But
we can go to the Marquesas. If there's one coming, we'll go.
Exactly. You move along. You go as far north as you can, and
somebody asked about your clothes, shuffling boxes of clothes.
Oh yes. So yeah. Keith and Alexandra. So we've met so many patrons recently. It's been really awesome. We got to meet people from New Zealand, Australia, and then
plus we had the big patron get together, and that was a blast.
Yeah, but even
we talked about that.
People have been. I've said if you're going to be in the area, shoot us an email, and everybody has, and it's been loads of fun. So thank you everybody for coming to hang out with us while you're here on your vacations. It's been awesome. Anyway, the clothing question. So they've just moved on to a leopard. 40
something,
not too long ago. Anyway, the clothing situation on a boat, the struggle is real. I shuffle freaking shoe boxes. That has been the bane of my existence, actually. I keep harping at Jason. I'm like, please make me shelves for my closet, because I am so sick of stacking and unstacking all of these shoe tubs to get to like my shirts and my underwear and everything else. So yeah, it's taking me till now to figure out that I wanted shelves in exactly where I wanted them. That was going to work best. Organization is just.
If you would have asked for shelves in Florida, they could have been done like that. But now we're in the middle of these islands. What am I going to cut down a tree and plane it and then build a shelf in hand? No.
That's what the locals do.
Oh gosh.
Okay, a couple more here. Let's see.
When can I move in? When can I move in? Yeah, When you win that multi-million-dollar lotto ball thing.
Yeah, then absolutely. You buy us a new boat, you can move right into ours. Let's see here. Are we worried about going to New Zealand and Australia because of the cats? We are already underway with all of the paperwork and the testing and everything else, so that we have all of that done and ready. So we are going to go for it. It is the plan, but we have to go to New Zealand first.
We can't go to Australia first. We have to go to New Zealand.
Yes. It's a big, long process, and we'll talk about that when we get closer to it. We'll cover what's happened so far in French Polynesia sometime soon, because we've just now finally gotten them legal here. They're technically Polynesian. Yeah. They're residents. They got their residency cards.
They can stay. They could buy a condo and move in if they wanted to.
Yeah, we're not allowed to, but our cats can stay. It's kind of funny, really. I can't see.
How often do we take Cleo and Singa to shore? Well, unfortunately, there's
so many
stinking dogs everywhere. they don't
They're
really...
adorable and they're awesome, but
we were told by the locals they don't really have any sort of like spay neuter program where they educate the people of why they need to be spayed and neutered, and they don't have any organizations really going in and spaying and neutering, like not-for-profit sort of thing. So there's just hundreds of dogs.
Lots of cats and everything else. So, but spay and neutering doesn't have anything to do with taking them to shore.
Well, if there weren't so many damn dogs, then we could take them to shore.
There are a lot of dogs, they just don't put them on leashes and they don't put them behind fences. They're all just kind of free roaming about town, and if we bring our cats to shore, then they're going to get attacked.
We have a friend that we met here, a new friend that we met, his dog was attacked by those dogs, so that's dog on dog, and I can't imagine. And
bringing a cat.
Yeah.
And that was really super scary for them because the other dog did not want to let go. Yeah. Anyway, it can be sketchy, so until we get a unpopulated, uninhabited island where there are no dogs, then poor kitties, they don't get to go to shore. They go on dinghy rides though. It helps get them off the boat. They like it. Or on the paddleboard. I'll only sing it. Cleo's not into it. Let's see here. A couple more in here.
Very little margin for error when you must land your boat. Do you have a dedicated drone pilot? And both of you take the turn. Oh my gosh. The drone, Nikki almost wrecked it a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
We were flying over at Chopu, which is like this famous surf site, and she's flying over there and she's like, we were looking for the brake, we couldn't find it because it was a couple miles away, and finally she found it. The drone started beeping, and she tried to fly just a little too long, and she was bringing it back, and it was beeping the entire time, literally.
So the drone says it's out of juice, and it's saying landing, 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 so it's
and
constantly
she's still like a half a mile from the boat.
So and I'm forcing, you know, of course, everything back up, 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 and it's wanting to go down, down, down. Yeah, so I just clipped the lifelines, and it just barely made it onto the boat, so it was a very close call.
We've had a couple of close calls. I've gotten my fingers nipped a couple times. Because the swell is all bouncing you around, you're trying to catch it because you can't really land it, especially from the dinghy. So it's always exciting. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, the old DJI or
the old
Phantom
3.
Yeah, because it had the legs on it.
And
so
the Phantom 4 has it.
Yeah, you can grab those, but the Mavic or the Air, they're so small, you kind of don't have a choice but to reach up and grab them. So yeah, but no, it's mostly me piloting. You haven't really flown in a long time. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Cat-related video, you've promised. Yes, that is coming up. We have 2 cat-related videos in the works. One about the litter situation.
When we ran out of litter.
Yep. And then another about the cats and getting them cleared in to French Polynesia, and then prepping for New Zealand.
Yep. A lot of cat stuff.
Yeah.
Paperwork, bureaucracy, and stinky rocks.
Somebody asked about hull slap on the catamaran. One time we were in Eleuthera, we were anchored, and the waves were coming in, rolling in pretty hard, and yeah, you get hull slap. It's there's no way around it. Even just a light chop can hit parts of the hull and make it loud. I mean, you can hear it in other people's videos that have catamarans. It's just, I don't know if it's part of a catamaran only thing. That's what he was suggesting, but I don't really know. We do get hull slap even at a fairly calm anchorage.
Yeah, but
it's not like the waves are so big they're hitting the bridge deck. They're just like slapping against the side of the fiberglass.
Yeah, which I think would happen. I mean,
it would happen
it's the same on a monohull, but it just depends on where the waves are hitting you from, I think. Let's see here. I'm switched over to some of the live comments now. Question about your sailing. So this is from Margaret. Did your sailing course only take place on your catamaran, or did you? No, you can. They have a bunch of boats, and it can just be you, and you might be in with like 6 other students on a boat. It all just depends. They have monohulls, catamarans, you know, and there are you really just go to ASA. Which is the American Sailing Association.
That's who we got certified with.
Right, and then they'll list all the schools that are available, because some colleges do it, and that's a lot less expensive than like a specialty school like Blue Water Sailing School. But it kind of just depends on how fast-paced you want or need the school to be. But if you're not looking like to go sailing tomorrow on your own boat, then the slower-paced classes could be really great.
Yeah. Although it could take 6 months to get the same certifications that we got in 6 days.
Right, but
which
you get all that.
Could be good.
You're going to meet a lot of people in the process. You're going to get a lot of time out on the water.
Yeah.
So I'm in. Anyway, yacht clubs and everything else are great too because they're always doing like little regattas and you can join in on those to get extra sailing experience and then go back to class with more info. You probably will come up with a lot more questions to ask. We were so fast paced, you're kind of just thrown in really quick.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Oh, Technomatia says new Iridium stuff is coming in the next 12 months.
Yeah, 12 months. God.
I'm so ready for better internet, like satellite wise.
Oh, man.
Yeah, of course you can buy big, fancy, expensive satellite dishes, but they're expensive.
Super expensive.
Yes. Let's see. It's lunchtime in Melbourne.
Oh, hey, cool.
Enjoy your lunch. Have a beer.
Yeah. It's 4 o'clock here, or 3:30.
Mm-hmm. So not even sundowner time for us, but it's always sundowner time.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're in an interrogation room, you've got air
That's
conditioning.
exactly what it feels like.
It's one light, no AC. At least we have a fan.
I'm not complaining. We have internet and we're we're live streaming. This is pretty amazing.
Stay hydrated though.
Greetings from Dallas. What's up, Bryce? I hear them gone Technomatia. Oh, sorry. Now it's you guys are talking to each other. Now I'm getting caught up in your conversation.
Yeah, now she'll get lost. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about something great. Me. Seriously, it has been a blast getting to swim with the whales. I know you've seen those photos roll through on Instagram, social media. It's just, I don't know, you go out there and to have this massive thing that's like, okay, I'm gonna share one experience. One time I was filming, just kind of staying at the surface, and the baby sort of swims up right next to me, maybe 2 feet from me. And then all of a sudden, the mom comes up from below. So the baby's like right next to me. The mom comes up, nose, boom, like a freight train, comes right by me. Like, you know, is it Star Wars or Star Trek where they show like the big, like the shots in space where the big spaceship is kind of going past the camera like that? That's what it was like. Like, here's my camera and it's like, whale. Ooh.
Totally takes over. Yeah, it was. I can't imagine what it was like being that close because, I mean, it kept looking like the whale wanted to touch. I'm pretty sure the whale did, but Jason kept kind of swimming backwards. Like, I don't think I'm supposed, well, like, legally you're not supposed to touch them, but if they touch you, that's a whole different story. But still, he was kind of like, giant creature coming at me. So he's like, just kind of gently, you know, paddling back. And I'm like watching, you know, and I'm thinking, I mean, he seems pretty playful and sweet, but. Like,
one slap of the tail.
Yeah, I'm like one little like brush and it could be,
It's like the experiences that we've been having with the whales, which is one reason we haven't left Moorea. We've stayed here a couple weeks longer than expected.
We are addicted.
Yeah, super addicted. Super addicted. And it's like Alaska good, you know, this sort of experience.
Yeah, it's epic. I mean, it's definitely like you're looking a whale in the eye for Pete's sake, and it's looking at you, and it's kind of like this through your soul experience. And yeah, it's funny. We keep going out with other people because one person has to stay on the boat. Yeah. And there are just these moments where they come so close to you, or they're just staring you down, and you're kind of like, I'm looking at you, and you're looking at me, and we're like having this moment, and you're not supposed to make a bunch of noises, but all you want to do is like, ah! So you kind of want to have these freak out moments, but you keep your calm and try to stay in the Zen mode. But yeah, it's been really awesome. So we've struggled to leave with the whales. So they need to migrate, so we will migrate.
Do we ever just turn off? Somebody just said a comment. Do you ever turn off the cameras and just live life? Oh.
Yeah, a lot actually.
Yeah, we do. If we're doing something really awesome, though, we always want to bring a camera because we want to share it. But there's several days where we're just like working on the computer or running errands or going to the grocery store or something like that.
Or even a good example would be even when the patrons came for the adventure weekend, we really wanted to be able to spend time with them, not necessarily have a camera in everybody's face all the time. Plus, that takes us out of socializing mode a little bit too if we're consistently filming. So we did film some to share a little bit of the experience, but not the whole time, every time, all the time. We kind of thought, okay, we'll make a montage, but the idea is to get to know you and spend the time with you, not to make a video effort out of it so much. And we enjoyed that,
Sometimes we'll go on a hike and we'll be like, you know what, it doesn't make sense with the whale video, let's go on a hike and just escape the boat for a few and the water for a few. And we won't film.
Yeah, so I would say 20% or 30% of life is with a camera, and then all the rest of it is probably without a camera.
Yeah. Somebody asked if we're going to have any more paid crew on board. We actually haven't ever had paid crew, and nobody's actually paid to come on. So I'm not sure if you're talking about maybe the patrons that we had on board and on the way to Panama and in Panama.
Yeah.
I don't know. We may or may not do that again. We're not really sure. But the big group meetup that we had,
we loved that.
That was so awesome because we got to share it with so many more people than just one or just two.
Yeah. So we liked the idea of a bigger group event or a meetup, and that was kind of like just throwing it out there and saying, oh well, if anybody, like, let's do something, because it would be fun, and it worked out well. And I think we'll try to get a little better at organizing those and do it longer. We thought, you know, oh, we didn't want to try to like take up too much of somebody's vacation time, but we really needed more time. We needed more days to make up for some of the high wind days, because that kind of put a damper on our sailing plans or even going outside the reef. So yeah, I think we'll do another one for sure, and then even longer, like make it like a week-long thing or something. Yeah. And then I think we want to invite crew on again, but we kind of, it's got to be the right little leg of the journey, I think. So getting somewhere and then being able to get them back out and everything else. So making sure that's a convenient place. Tahiti's really expensive to fly into. The flights are getting cheaper and cheaper, but it's only if you're like out of San Francisco, basically, at the moment.
If you're out of France or San Francisco, it's cheap to get here.
Yeah, so.
Although United starts up, maybe just started up. They start up trying to match some of those prices. They have flights coming directly to Tahiti now. I'm not sure from what cities or states, but it's supposed to be a heck of a lot cheaper. So we're going to be here for a little bit longer. So
Yeah.
I know we're going to do another big meetup. Somebody asked about life vests and harnesses. While we're sailing, especially at night. Well, I don't know if you've ever been on a catamaran or not. Ours is fully enclosed, and sure, a rogue wave could come from behind and maybe sweep us out, but it's not very likely. Like the space from where the water is and where we sit at the helm is really far. So unless something was going to crash down so hard that it was going to bust the hard top and the enclosure, like, it's not really.
Sitting at the helm is just, if you've watched any other sailing channels, especially with a catamaran, they're not really clipped in there.
Yeah. But it's personal preference. I mean,
it absolutely is. Yeah, whatever you feel comfortable with, and we feel comfortable sitting at the helm, not clipped in, and don't need the PDF on. Now that PFD.
Well, life jacket at that point.
Yeah, life vest. Yeah, whatever. We do have a rule that at night you leave the cockpit without wearing one and without having your tether. And then but we also have the rule of don't leave the cockpit at night without telling the other person.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, at night it would just be too hard. We don't like to deal with it, but we have the MOBAIS and everything else. So we've got stuff in place to help. We've got flashlights attached to it, the whole deal, whistles, yada, yada, yada. But it all comes down to, everybody gets to decide. We're all grown adults, and it's like the same as going to ride your bicycle. You can choose to wear a helmet or not. If you're going mountain biking, I'd highly suggest one. There are plenty of times where we're cruising down a neighborhood just on a little pedal bike, and we don't. So I think it's kind of the same thing. So
somebody asked about scuba. Well, in the Marquesas, the water was so dark, there's no way we were going to scuba.
You could not see 5 inches.
Yeah, like literally that, like you couldn't see. That manta ray, that's why we couldn't tell it was a manta ray. I thought it was a shark because it was almost impossible to see until it got right next to us. And only when it was on the surface could you actually see it.
There was, the water is so murky that even as we were paddling up, we'd take our paddle boards and paddle too short to go for like a walk. And there was once where I almost stepped on a junior shark because I could not see him until I was almost directly on top of him, and he finally swam out of the way, and that's where I was putting my foot down in the sand. And it was only like this much water. So after that, I was like, I think I'll just like beach land every time. So I was kind of a little nervous after that.
And we have scuba a couple times here in the Moorea area, but the water's, the reef's not like super duper healthy, and there's not that many fish on the dives that we've done. So I don't know, I guess when we wake up in the morning, if we're going to do an adventure, we think, well, the whales are going to be leaving soon. We should go swim with the whales.
Yeah, and you cannot, it's illegal to scuba with whales. So that's really been our biggest holdup, is we would have been diving more on some of those outside dives. We just can't seem to stop going to hang out with the whales.
It's such a unique opportunity. We're going to do a ton of diving in the coming months, and especially in the Tuamotus. That's like one of the premier diving places in the world, Whakarava.
We're super excited. It's supposed to be really colorful and amazing, and it's good. Did you get your deposit from, oh yes, we got our deposit back from the Panama Canal within 2 weeks.
I can't remember if we got it like right when we arrived or right before we arrived or something, but yeah, it was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was not long after we did the we didn't have to and we didn't have an agent. It just actually went through. So it was very easy.
Voila.
Voila. Yeah. Whales and manatees.
Diving in Whakarava is great. Yeah, rub it in, man. We just we had to skip it on the way down here. It was so sad. Some of our friends stopped and they told us about how amazing it was, and the sharks and the cuts and the magic carpet rides, and I'm obviously really excited about diving now. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be awesome.
Thanks for the inspiration. Just bought a Leopard 44. Holiday plans. Home to Dallas from Jonathan. Congrats on the boat.
Yeah.
Holiday plans. Whatever our fellow cruisers are doing. We're not leaving. We could technically.
Yeah. I think we're gonna leave and go to Bora Bora, Huahine, the Leeward Islands. We're gonna try to do maybe Thanksgiving and maybe Christmas over there.
Yeah.
In that general area.
Yeah. The rest of, they call it the Leeward Islands or the Society Islands. So we're going to try to hit up the rest of these, and then after towards the end of the year, first of the year, then that's when we're thinking we'll make our way to the Tuamotus. It's supposed to just kind of be a good timing, but we'll see. We're going off of what our fellow cruisers who've already been here for the year, or they've already been through one whole season here, or all the seasons here, I guess. Yeah. And so that's what they're kind of telling us.
Somebody asked about temperature. It is, feels like 100 in this room. It's about 85, 85-ish.
Might be 90 in here.
Get to 90. Well, I mean, on the outside, like on the boat, it's around 88, 89.
During the day.
Slight breeze. The rainy season is starting, so it's going to be warmer and more humid.
When we first got here, it was really nice, but the water was kind of cold. And then now it's starting to warm up. And before I was like, oh no, I'm kind of ready for warmer weather so that I can snorkel longer without turning blue lips. And now I'm kind of going, I should not have been so eager to get to that sweltering season. But yeah, it's upon us. I can feel the humidity coming.
Yeah, it's definitely, we're very glistening.
Yeah.
And we're having to wear so much sunscreen that it's like, geez, we gotta buy stock in a sunscreen company.
Yeah. John and Peter are asking, they were asking about the temperature. Is it nice in January? Hint, hint.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, it's lovely in January.
It's the best time to be here.
Yep. I'm sure it will not rain at all.
No.
If you wanted to come and visit.
Good Tex-Mex. Somebody said, I just saw Tex-Mex come up. That's.
Oh, how we miss them.
They don't have black beans.
None. You can't buy them dried or canned here.
They don't have black beans.
And I know that is probably not a big concern for a lot of people, but coming from Texas, no black beans is a real thing. Yeah. So we may have to have another patron meetup
so you can bring black beans.
People can bring some black beans with them.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. And just ran out of corn masa the other day, so I can't make corn tortillas anymore, which is really.
So we are almost out of black beans, and we have no more stuff to make corn tortillas. So, I mean, for two Texans,
who eat mostly vegetarian, that's
and a lot of tacos. But they do have really good locally grown tomatoes. They grow what look like Scotch bonnet peppers or habanero peppers, so we can still make salsa. So not all is lost. And they make, out of the breadfruit, they slice it up and they make uru chips, which taste very much like tortilla chips. So, we're surviving.
We're not out of beer, no. Somebody said, are you out of beer? No, definitely not. But we're almost
out of It might be official to go ahead and make another crossing at that point.
Yeah, I literally have 3 or 4 really nice bombers left and a couple small bottles of like good beer, and then after that it's just the Tahitian stuff, which is okay.
Yeah.
But to give you an idea, it's like $15 for a Castile 11%, if you know what that is. That's like a little tiny one, 11%. Nice Belgian beer, but it's like $15.
Yeah.
Which would normally be like $5 in the States.
So, Remy and somebody else asked the same question. Shoot, and now I've missed it. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, about sending, can we send you a care package? I would love nothing more but shipping here is insanely expensive, and then if we get anything we have to pay customs and duties on it, and it can get kind of expensive, so it's not really worth it. It's much better. Everybody just says if you want packages, you just need to have somebody come and visit. So like we're just gonna have to do another meetup.
Bora Bora Christmas, anybody?
Yep.
Anybody?
Mule runs would be the best way to get packages here. So yeah.
You could hang out for a couple days.
Right. Somebody want to come diving?
Yeah, I know. Check French Bee or French Blue. What is it?
Yeah. French Blue. Yeah, and I think United's supposed to start out of San Francisco. I don't know, but yes. So yeah.
It might be the best option.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this.
Yes.
I need some beer.
At what point would you call that a patron meetup, or would you just start calling that a mule run? Right. Yeah.
We'll call it a mule run.
Yeah. We might have to start, giving boarding for that. Which that can be arranged, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Or maybe we'll send Nikki back to San Francisco, because both of us can't go because we can't leave the cats. So maybe we'll if somebody lives in San Francisco, Nikki can hop on a plane. It's $200 there, $200 back. Get a bunch of boat parts, beer.
Fill up 2 suitcases with boat parts and stuff. Yeah.
Black beans.
Yeah.
It just seems so silly.
Yeah, it's an odd request. Can we bring you anything?
Yeah.
Yes, black beans, please, and some corn muffs. Let's see here. They are vegetarian. Yes, we are vegetarian. Well, we're pescatarian technically because we do eat fish.
Pesco, ovo, lacto. Like some people get super intense about it. We just eat mostly vegetarian, and we eat some fish, and we eat some eggs.
And some dairy. Yeah. Although I have been a coconut fool lately. I've been making coconut yogurt.
Yes.
And it is so good. Recipe is coming soon. I swear to goodness, we have so many other things to get to though on video that I'm holding off on the recipes, but they are coming. I have a whole long list of things that I'm like itching to do. It's hard to squeeze everything in, adventures and recipes, and actually do something maybe helpful, answer questions.
Somebody said Instagram trolls are raging about
veterinarians. Vegetarians, not veterinarians.
I don't know. I think they wrote veterinarians on purpose.
Oh.
Oh, now they wrote vegetarians. Okay.
Yes. Mike Conrad says it's only $200 to fly there from San Francisco. See, that would be cheaper than shipping and customs and duty. So
isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Although, let's see. Typos. Come on, people.
Veterinarian. He said veterinarian instead of vegetarian. That was a typo.
Okay.
I thought he was quoting somebody on Instagram that accidentally messed up and had their own typo.
Yep.
Oh yeah, cooking vids. There's so many comments and questions about cooking, and Nikki making a cookbook, and we have so many things we want to do.
And there's just not enough time in the day.
Yeah, and even on Patreon here, we want to change the way that like our goals and everything. Like we really need to spend some time focusing in on making this, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we feel like we've been sucking at Patreon, I suppose, for you guys. Like we kind of do our thing, and we're trying really hard. We've been doing lots of extra things to make the videos even better and adding. And I mean, you've been seeing the intro. We did the map thing, because that was a big request from a lot of people. So that they understood where in the world we were and everything like that. So we've been upping the game on that front, and then of course the new website, which was kind of like I wasn't exactly planning on doing that now, but everything was crashing and breaking, and so it was becoming something that could be no longer ignored. That took up a lot of time. So yeah, it just kind of feels like sometimes things snowball on you. And I'm sure you all probably feel the same way right now. Like the holidays are creeping up on you. There's probably family stuff going on. And it just kind of always feels like that end of the year, there's just like this huge push. And then you start over on the new year and you've got all these like grand plans, and we're in that like, we're gonna rock like 2019 mode right now. Yeah.
We're planning on rocking 2019.
Where we're gonna get the time to do it all, we're not sure, but we've got grand plans.
Somebody did ask how Patreon has changed the way that we work. You know, one of the best things about having patrons is the fact that companies have been reaching out to us for years trying to get us to review their products and do advertising and all this stuff. And in the past, we'd read all the emails and we would seriously consider, and then we'd have this conversation, and it would
waste so time, because in the end they wanted us essentially to make advertising for them, and we just weren't willing to. And that's even all the stuff that we get now. It's all just like paid reviewed, paid sponsorships, where they all just want you to say and do, and they send you specific copy on exactly what to say and do, and it's just not, it doesn't give you the warm and fuzzy. Some people do really, really well with sponsored content, and they do a great job of working with companies that they, I guess, feel good about supporting and everything else. And we've done some stuff long time ago, and that was great, but it's just, it requires so much effort, and we feel like now we just get to focus on whatever it is that we want to create, and kind of from the input that all of you give. So it feels much more for the people, by the people kind of thing. Yeah, so that is huge. I feel like it's any sort of public programming. It's always amazing because it's public funded, so you just get to make whatever it is you want to make without some advertiser telling you how to do it.
Well, and like in our helpful ones, like specifically the Wi-Fi one or the internet one that we're doing, it's all products, and we could pitch the companies and say,
please sponsor this,
pay this, pay that, but no, it's like we just get to say whatever the heck we want to say about these products and talk about how we use them. And
good, bad, and in between.
Yeah, and it is a helpful video, so it's going to be different than an adventure, but we put in an equal amount of time and really honing in on trying to help people that are trying to get into the same lifestyle, like make the decisions that
unbiased content is a really big deal. So Patreon helps so many people be able to do exactly that. There are so many creators now on Patreon who are able to make a living and not have to do all of that. And so yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I think Patreon's been amazing. I don't always love everything about the platform. There's so many glitches, there's so many things, but in general, it's a pretty rad thing.
Should we say anything about the podcast?
Oh great, now you want to throw me under the bus?
we just want to crush 2019.
Yeah. We've been throwing around the idea of doing a podcast so we can just answer dive into certain topics that are sometimes challenging to do in video, and it just is a way to kind of have conversations just like this, honestly. And sometimes an easier way to maybe involve the other people around us, because people get so uncomfortable with
when
the
you have a camera in their face and you're like, say something really important and make it be just perfect.
Yeah, or they're these really lovely, charismatic people, and they have this great story, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, can I bring a camera? I'd love to just like walk around your boat and everything else, and then they get really uncomfortable and they freeze, and then they don't want you to put it out on the internet, which I completely understand. So we're thinking podcasting maybe is a...
Plus, like, we've gotten into podcasts a lot more the past couple of years when we've been sailing, because we don't have the bandwidth to watch a video.
Yeah, and there's a few, like a lot of non-sailing related things that we've been super enjoying, and then a couple of sailing podcasts as well, like Sailing Road and a few others that are all really fun to listen to. So yeah, we like the podcast, and we've been thinking about doing a podcast. So yeah, because we don't have enough on our plate.
Yeah. Somebody asked about RV or sailboat. That's one that we will eventually tackle, maybe next year. It's a big one. A lot of people have that question, and we don't. Both of them are just a vessel for us, so it's not like we don't feel like one is better than the other. Either way, we have a house with us wherever we're going, and we couldn't bring an RV to these islands, so we didn't really have a choice. That's the one pain in the butt part is. With our RV, I had less solar and less battery, and yet I literally never had to run the generator. And there's something about the boat, the shadows, it's like...
It's harder, well, we could tilt the panels. It was amazing how much more efficient with less we could be, but the challenges of the boat. There's a lot of ongoing running electronics on a boat, though.
Yeah.
Especially when you're sailing, like navigation and everything. Yeah, so... But that's a power thing. That's a whole different conversation. But
they're pretty equipable.
I feel like Nikki sailing, Jason could go either way. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's just a place to get somewhere.
It is, but that's
fun to sail. No, I mean, it's not like I do care. It is fun.
Yeah.
When it's fun.
Sailing is so extreme, one direction and the other. When it's good, it's just off the charts, amazing. You have such experiences that you just couldn't get any other way. And then when it's bad, it is equally as bad. It is god awful, terrible, and there is pretty much no other way you could like put yourself in that situation other than being on a freaking boat. So you curse it and you love it. Yeah.
And on the nice days when you're on autopilot and you're just like looking out, watching the whales jump as you're just kind of slowly cruising by, it's amazing. You can't do that in an RV.
Okay, so this is from Mike Conrad. He just said, would you ever stay somewhere for a long period of time to really get to travel around, maybe live in an RV and travel around New Zealand? Actually, yes. So we've met a couple of cruisers. We met one couple in Ecuador who we totally loved. They were really cool. They built their own boat. Wish I would have got them on camera. Really cool boat, and they did. They are doing exactly that. So they were traveling all through South America and all the way up to Alaska, and they're sailing and driving and sailing and driving, which is very similar kind of to what Technomati is doing. They have the RV and they have the boat. That is a good way to go. We couldn't personally, with the catamaran right now, there's no way. We could not afford to have anything else other than what we have right now. We're maxed out. But if you want to have a small boat and a small camper van or something like that, I think that is like the ultimate combo. It's like, because you can kind of just keep traveling and you get to see the interior and the water side of things. And there are certain countries and places where you go and the inland travel is almost more spectacular than the water side of things. I would say Ecuador was definitely that way.
Yeah, definitely Ecuador.
Unless you're going to the Galapagos, then Ecuador, the amazing stuff is inland. It's not per se on the coast.
But yeah, definitely New Zealand, Australia, we plan, if we can. We haven't really looked into the visa situation, but if we can stay for a year, then heck yeah, 6 months or whatever in a small caravan.
Right out the cyclone season by caravanning around. Oh yeah, it's already been on our list. And like John and Peter, RV geeks, they did a whole camper van trip through New Zealand, and anyway, it looked really epic, and they wouldn't shut up about it afterwards every time we met with them. So apparently it was really awesome. And then I know like Heath and Alyssa Paget, they just went on one. I've been listening to their podcasts, and anyway, so I'm hearing all these people rave about New Zealand. Oh, and Dan, do you remember Dan? So our patron who was on board with us through Panama, he just spent 3 months in New Zealand, and he absolutely loved it. So he was like, just throwing this out there, maybe big patron meetup in New Zealand, and he was throwing out tips and everything else. So he really loved it there. He's been doing a lot of traveling since he stayed with us, so that's really awesome.
Yeah, on RV breaking news, I don't know if anybody's read that the company Thor that owns Airstream, they like partnered with this company that's like owns all of the rentals, the RV rentals in New Zealand and Australia. So
how did I not know this?
I thought I told you.
I don't know.
Yeah, they started this new company that's like, I don't know, some sort of online group thing. I wish I could remember the name of it, but maybe, just maybe, we'll get to do something special with them. Like, that would be awesome if we can have like an Airstream.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know if they have Airstreams there, but
everybody just says like that's the best way to travel in New Zealand. And so I think being able to do the water and then get in a camper van and be able to do the interior, I think that would be the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And poor Curiosity really needs her bottom scrubbed.
The RV geeks are pointing out that it was Australia that they did. That's right, Great Barrier Reef. That they still need to do New Zealand. So see, I'm pre-planning your trip for you boys. Yeah. Ruby Rose's live stream this week, and they mentioned you guys. Apparently, they heard you guys like to have fun. Do you follow them or any other channels? So I follow mostly everybody like through Instagram and stuff like that. We don't have the bandwidth nor the internet connectivity to stream anything here. So I can't watch anybody's videos. I have no idea what anybody is up to. It's semi-frustrating. I read titles and I read descriptions and I get to see everybody's Instagram feed. No, I do love Ruby Rose, and we've chatted several times through email and everything else. And without just like totally sharing our private conversation. Anyway, I would love to meet up with them at some point in time if we could. Yeah, so I don't know what they said. Maybe you could clear me in. But yes, I do like, I like Ruby Rose. We follow Uma. I love Dan and Kiko. We talk to them all the time through WhatsApp or on radio. Yeah. They're loads of fun.
They literally just left Florida and were like, thanks for letting us borrow your car.
Because they got to drive a smart car while they were at Just Catamarans working on their boat, and holy smokes, they did a lot of work. Yeah, so we follow lots of people. There are a lot of blogs that I love, like Sailing Totem. They don't do videos. And then Wind Traveler, which is a family one as well. She's great. Her kids are stinking cute on Instagram.
Oh, what's the one that you were following for a while in the Outremer? And they're having to sell it. Everybody wants a nice Outremer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Wind something.
Yeah, when you said Wind Traveler, that's what made me think of
I know, yeah. There was
she had a good blog
there was a family that was on an Outremer, and he just really hurt.
Husband and wife.
Yeah, husband and wife. Yeah. Well, they have a daughter. And she's getting close to going to college. Anyway, they were about to do the big ARC crossing, and he hurt his shoulder, and anyway, he's got to go through surgery and all these things. It's going to completely delay their trip, and so they're having to sell their boat. Anyway, it's completely kitted out and pretty much a brand new boat that's had all the kinks worked out. So I was like, we can't afford that, but that would be a good one.
I know, right? Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be the downside of following other blogs, is the fact that you see like a boat that you like come up for sale, and then you want to buy something else. Yeah. Best life. Curiosity out of the water for a long road trip in Australia.
Yeah. Curiosity has to come out of the water here first. We got to clean her bottom bad.
She needs new bottom paint.
Geez, poor Minion. So like, she's been destroyed by the freaking Panama and Ecuador. We can't clean her up. It's like,
everybody's commented about the bottom of the boat without using like something super harsh that's just going to destroy our hypalon. Like, we can't get it off. There are no products that exist here that will take it off. So I've read about all kinds of things on like Practical Sailor and everything else that are all products that I literally can't get here that I could try to clean it up. Anyway, so yeah, it is like, it's just on there. Yeah. So yes, but yes, poor Minion has had a run for it, but she's still, you know what, she works just as well. She's just a dirty, dirty girl.
Oh, battery may run out soon. That's the end of, you've reached almost the end. Okay, so we've got probably a few more minutes.
Yeah, before we die out here.
Real quick, somebody said something about shooting in 4K versus uploading in lower resolution. Sometimes we shoot in 4K. I used to love shooting in 4K because I could crop in and it would really be helpful. But the bad thing is, all my cameras...
Stabilization is crap in 4K.
The stabilization is so much better if I shoot in 1080 versus 4K. So we've actually gone back to 1080.
Yeah, but mostly just because we can't upload it. Like, we're lucky if we get to upload 1080, which we can hear at like the Cyber Cafe, which is really awesome.
Definitely, but I went down to 720 for a while because the internet was so bad.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned Sailing Zatara. Again, I've only been able to follow them on their like blog and Instagram, but I think they're fellow Texans too. Anyway, it's a good one for family stuff.
What do you think of the Leopard? Any more problems with the windows? Not the two that she fixed, the two on the other side.
I may have done a crappy job on sealing that up. It may not look pretty. Actually, it doesn't look bad. It looks just fine.
Yeah. You don't look at it anyway. It's a window. Yeah, you're just like, you walk by it. Yeah, you're like, oh, look at this. But the other one is cracked. It was cracked in service on the other side. And it's slowly delaminating because it's the old caulking as well.
So it'll eventually have to be redone.
We are just really hoping it'll last till New Zealand.
Yeah, there's one person specific in New Zealand, but one specific in Australia. I think maybe he's a patron. It's been a conversation that's happened a while ago now, but he was like, basically he's a professional, and he was like, I will teach you how to do those windows proper if you come on down. I'm like, please hang in there till Australia. I can get pro help. So yeah, but other than that, the boat. I mean, typical stuff. Yeah,
she's holding up well. Curiosity's just keeps kicking.
Yeah.
We've been neglecting her because it's been nonstop computer work, editing, and website and all that stuff and all the planning. But
yeah, we have like ongoing maintenance lists.
Yeah, they keep getting longer.
I know. We met a really cool couple too. Makes an app for that, but it requires connectivity. But it's a pretty sweet app. I'll have to share it anyway. Helps you organize your maintenance. But sadly, all of our like really important stuff, like servicing our winches, that's been on the list for a really long time now just keeps having to like stay on the list in almost the exact same spot because we keep not getting to it. So there's things like that. There's lots of maintenance that's getting backed up. Yep. But as far as actually like functioning properly,
yeah, for now.
Yes.
Well, thank you everyone. Lots of comments coming through. Everybody enjoyed the chat. I'm so happy we didn't mess it up this time.
I know, no technical problem. Well, you know what? The country wasn't trying to block us from doing live chat, so that really helps a lot.
That's true. That's true. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for being patrons, and hopefully we can do another meetup soon.
Yeah, as long as we're... Yeah, we've been told there's a good hotel with possible decent Wi-Fi in Huahine or
somewhere over there.
Or I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, if we can find another good spot, we will totally do another chat. If you have any suggestions for us on rewards you would like to see, we are going to be kind of revamping some of that.
Oh, our store, our swag store.
We are launching very soon. I am very excited. I will make sure and publish the video and the store to you guys first before I publish it to the world of everybody else.
It's taken 2 years, literally 2 years. We have been testing crap, literally stuff that just did not work, or we just couldn't get behind it.
Or it's like we found something, but then the prints weren't that great, or the sizes weren't good, or we couldn't deal with shipping, and international shipping was a real pain in the rear. Anyway, we've got it all set up, and it's something we feel really good about because it's all like sustainable, organic.
Traceable, like
everything.
As good as we feel really good about it.
Yeah, so we're excited to that. And I know I keep getting emails about t-shirts.
And cookbook.
And a cookbook. I'm working on.
Jeez, cookbook.
Oh, except for cookbook. I just anyway. I don't feel like anybody should be listening to me on much of anything other than it's like if you just want to know what to do, great. But you shouldn't trust me. I guess I don't feel like that's
worldwide shipping, somebody asked real quick. Yes, it is worldwide shipping, and it's not expensive. It just takes a week. It took us a week and a half to get our samples.
Yep.
So that's awesome. We're actually going to do. We're going to launch this one, and then we're going to launch possibly another U.S.-based one a month later or so.
Yeah. Right now, the one that we're working with is out of the UK, but that's because they like hit all of our check boxes, like. Organic, sustainable, bamboo, fair wages, all the important things, but then also worldwide shipping, really good return policy, stands behind their products, water-based inks, just the whole thing. It's like they do it all. And then we have one person that we're working with out of the US who also has similar things, but he doesn't have, the shipping is not quite the same. So you can't do international very affordably anyway. It's a whole lot. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
That's a good idea. I should do a book about deep thoughts.
A book about deep thoughts?
I'm so pensive.
Oh, okay. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Bye guys.
I think we just hit the X button.
Oh, just the X button?
Yep.
See you.